Dear student, in this episode we are discussing about the evolution of public administration as an academic discipline, 2 how the public administration has developed in the changing context of market and the latest trends of governance and electronic governance in the study of public administration. These are the topics that are going to today's lesson. Evolution of the public administration as an academic discipline. Public administration compared with other social science subjects is a much younger in the field, because all the time we quote the study of public administration started only in 1887. As mentioned earlier, public administration as a subject of study is a recent origin. It blossomed with the growth of modern industrial civilization, the complex organizational systems to undertake both regulatory and welfare activities. Particularly the study of public administration started after Industrial Revolution. Why? Because after Industrial Revolution, a new factories has come up, new activities are started in all over the world. To control this, organizations are established. The study, functioning, process, methods of organization is public administration. It can be stated that a serious study of public administration started with the publication of Woodrow Wilson's essay, The Study of Public Administration, in 1887 in the American Political Science Quarterly. You have to keep in the mind all the time, Woodrow Wilson wrote this essay when he was in the first year of his master's, MA first year student, he wrote this article. Still we are considering that is the birth of the public administration and mine of the wisdom in the study of public administration. You people also can try how to write an article, and it is going to show light for the generations. Wilson was indeed a pioneer who has set the tone of the systematic study of public administration. The earlier writers stressed the dichotomy of politics and public administration. Wilson said, the public administration is the latest fruit of political science tree. Political system, it was functioning in the constitutional systems. Then public administration is the latest fruit of political science tree, and at the same time, Wilson stressed that political questions are different, administrative questions are different. That's why we have to study public administration as a separate study. This is what we generally call dichotomy of public administration and politics. Later parts, with the publication of L.D. White book, The Introduction to the Study of Public Administration in 1926, and Willoughby, his book on Principles of Public Administration, these were beginning of the study of public administration. The study of principles of public administration also started with Willoughby's book and L.D. White book. The earliest studies on public administration was Wilson's The Study of Principles of Public Administration, L.D. White Introduction to the Study of Public Administration, Willoughby's Principles of Public Administration. During this period, the discipline seems to have reached the reputational zenith in 1946. F.M. Marx, his book The Elements of Public Administration, almost buried the dichotomy between politics and public administration. These are the important landmarks in the study of public administration. From 1956 to 1970, public administration was treated as an administrative science. In other words, the universality of administration was realized irrespective of being public or private. Today, public administration has come to its own with a more balanced emergence of the discipline. It is neither political science nor business administration. Public administration is not a political science, not a business administration. It is having its own base as public administration. There is a one word as a student you can identify in various books in the literature, that locus and focus. The locus is public policy and the focus is on management. It is what and how, locus and focus. The management theory and various techniques with more attention on the dynamics of administration. The three defining pillars of public administrations are organizational behavior and the behavior of people in public organizations, the technology of management, and the public interest as it relates to individual ethical choice and public affairs. So people behave one model in society, one model in group, but in organization they behave differently. These behavioral studies are started in public administration by Herbert Simon. Public administration is not only an academic study, it is a profession. As a profession, this is like in all other social sciences, they are not having this facility, but whereas public administrators as a group of professions, we have now several well established and recognized professions like law, medicine, engineering, accountancy. Is public administration is also such a profession? To examine this, we must first know what profession means and what its features are. Medicine is a profession, law is a profession, and whether public administration is a profession, this is a question. A profession is calling in which one professes to acquire knowledge which is used either in instructing, guiding or advising otherwise. That is the meaning of a profession. In other words, it is an employment whose duties being not mechanical, requiring some degree of learning. The important features of the profession are: 1. Acquiring a special knowledge after a long formal education and training. 2. Commitment to use knowledge to serve others. 3. Feeling responsibility to the profession. 4. Common values and approaches, that is professional ethics. Based on the features, it can be stated that public administration has not yet become a full-fledged profession. It is first necessary to make the study of public administration profession oriented so that those who completed the study of the course of public administration can straightaway join public service at various levels. In India, we are not having that type of thing. Public administration is one of the general course. But whereas in some of the countries like USA, even in some European countries, even in Germany, Master of Public Administration they call as MPA. So MPA is a professional course. At the same time, many more interactions between the academics and practitioners of public administration. In view of the noticeable trends that organization of numerous training programs covering public administration and management, growth of professional organizations and increase in the research output and applied public administration, it may be stated that public administration is on the threshold of becoming a profession, but not a full-fledged profession. Because if you want to become an IAS officer, an engineer can become, doctor can become, an accountant can become, anybody can write an examination all India level and he can become an IAS officer. He is an Indian Administrative Service officer. That's why we still says that it is in threshold of becoming a profession. But at the same time, the study of public administration is very important for practitioners. Through its systematic study, one gets an acquaintance with the knowledge of the administrative machinery and its numerous activities. This knowledge helps in getting the cooperation and participation of people in running the administration smoothly. In developing societies, vast sections of the people are not aware of the array of programs undertaken for their upliftment. Study of public administration to a certain extent fills this gap. Further, people are often disgusted with the administrative processes and the rules and regulations and consequent delays. These frustrations can be mitigated to a certain extent if the people are aware of the organizational structure, procedural intricacies, legal and financial requirements and other limitations. As a student, or if you just as a citizen, you go to an office, you simply feel that what is these rules, how many type of these procedures, how many papers I have to fill. All the time we are going to feel like that, but in the running of the public administration, these all things are required. Because for each and every activity the public administrative process is doing, it has to be recorded. That is what we say, written documents are required for the public administration. For politicians and legislatures, knowledge of the administrative machinery will be useful to the civil servants themselves for better performance of their own roles. Study of public administration and its machinery will be helpful to private administration too, as there are several similarities between them. According to Woodrow Wilson, the object of administrative study is to rescue executive method from the confusion and costliness of empirical experiment and set them upon foundations laid deep on stable principles. In other words, instead of trial and error methods, which are often costly, stable principles can be evolved. This is what Woodrow Wilson says. The objectives of its studies, universities and colleges are to widen the horizon of the students and equip them for research and also to prepare them for public services. In fact, there is a strong feeling that the knowledge of the elements of public administration and the application to the Indian administration should be made compulsory to the entrance to public services, particularly at the higher levels. That's why whoever join in the government service, they are going to be trained on basic elements of the public administration in India. According to the various people, public administration is the key science of contemporary civilization. There is no subject more important than the subject of public administration. The future of civilized government, and even, I think, this is a quote, I think of civilization itself rests upon our ability to develop a science and philosophy and a practice of administration competent to discharge the public functions of a civilized society. This is Charles Bird. In his quotation, he mentioned that. This was the study of public administration as an academic discipline, but there is a changing context. Whatever we studied public administration till 1970s, 80s were different. Today is different. After 1991, we call it as a 1991 reforms in India, popularly known as structural adjustment policies, resulted in emphasis on liberalization, privatization and globalization. This is called as LPZ. There is a change in the perceptions and the role of state and public administration. The focus is shifted from state to market and to non-governmental agencies in the development. The good governance and the e-governance are the two important developments of this new context. Let us put a light something more about these two developments. What is the good governance? Governance is an important function of public administration. Governance is a much broader concept, which is defined as the manner in which power is exercised in the management of countries' economic and social resources for development. The good governance is considered an important requirement for a nation's development. Some of the features of the good governance are: number one, political accountability, including the acceptability of political system by the people and regular elections to legitimize the exercise of political power. This is going to be the legitimized exercise of the political power. Some of the countries, there were no elections. A president simply declares a cabinet. Elections were not going to be held for decades. Then some of the countries, people are not accepting the existing political system. But good governance talks political accountability. People has to accept the existing political structure and also whether elections are held it for regular intervals as mentioned in the Constitution. Second, freedom of association and participation by various social, economic, cultural and professional groups in the process of governance. Third, an established legal framework based on the rule of law and independence of judiciary. Bureaucratic accountability, ensuring a system to monitor and control the performance of government officials and offices in relation to the quality of service. It is not that a bureaucracy simply says we completed the work. What is the accountability of the bureaucracy? A simple example, received a certificate from a municipality. It is wrong. Because of that, you had something happen to you, you have a lot of loss, who will bear it? This is a fundamental question. The good governance talks that a bureaucratic accountability, the person who has issued a particular certificate is responsible for this. The related determinants include openness and transparency in administration. It means public administration has to be work in openness and transparency. Then freedom of information, expression needed for formulation of public policies, decision making, monitoring and evaluation of government performance. This is what one of the important aspects. It also includes independent analysis of information by the professional bodies, including the universities and others needed for a civil society. A sound administrative system leading to efficiency and effectiveness. This in turn means the value for money and cost effectiveness. The effectiveness includes the degree of global achievement as per the stated objectives and also the administrative system which is able to take secular and rational decisions and the system which is self-propelling to take corrective measures. Then good governance concentrates on efficiency and effectiveness. What is efficiency and effectiveness? Cooperation between government and civil society organizations. These are some of the important aspects of good governance. Governance is just not an administration. Various institutions involved in it, economic institutions, political institutions, administrative institutions. Ultimately, it has to be responsible to the people. At the same time, another important feature of the present context is electronic governance, or famously known as e-governance. This e-governance is considered as an important tool of good governance. The use of information technology in government has acquired the application of e-governance or e-government. E-governance is also sometimes called digital governance, as the new system uses internet as a gateway or the means by which people and government get connected to each other. The important aspect is ICT is dominating us. Information communication technology, computer and internet, these are the dominant, and we can identify everywhere. Even in cell phone we are using internet. So how we can use this information communication technology for the functioning of governance systems? This is called e-governance. These new technologies facilitate the government's capacity to respond more effectively to the needs of people. They also facilitate better interface between people and government and more transparency in the operations of public organizations. The Government of India and many state governments, including Andhra Pradesh, have taken many commendable initiatives in e-governance. The computerization of many public services in Andhra Pradesh is a part of development of e-governance. These new technologies has started functioning from after 1991 again, what we discussed. Government is using this technology to work more effectively, more fast. So the simple thing is you need not to go to a government office, you apply, they may attach a particular certificate to your mail, you can take a printout without a signature, because they simply say it is digitally signed. It is a digitally signed is an accepted law in the country. The creation of infrastructure, the maintenance and the upgradation of the systems, management of partnership arrangements with the technology provider, building the trust among the public on the reliability of the systems, making them accessible to large numbers, addressing the needs of multilingual users, subsidizing the costs, developing the competencies of staff and users are some of the concerns of e-governance. So e-governance centers, you can go to e-seva centers in Andhra Pradesh, CICs in any state in all over the country. The important aspect is addressing the needs of multilingual. You want to a particular your mother tongue, either Hindi or Telugu or Marathi or in English, it is available. Subsidizing the cost, yes, you need not to go to a public office all the time, wait. So these are going to be the some of the benefits of the e-governance to the public. So today we can sum up evolution of the public administration as a discipline, as a profession, and also the important things happened after 1991, governance, good governance, and electronic governance. After 1991, the understanding of the state and the public administration has changed. Now, previously it was a welfare state model, slowly it has entered into the market dominant model. Governance, it identifying public administration has to be accountable, open, transparent, and responsive to the citizen needs. This is the basic features of the governance. Let it be, whether it is World Bank is saying or somebody is saying, these are the important for the developing countries, people also. Let administration, instead of a secrecy, let it come to the open. The another important aspect is electronic governance. Information technology, information highway, information revolution is dominating. Then public administration is learning from ICT, using ICT as one of the important tools. Hence automatically it is helping the public also to use the information technology. Instead of going to the government office, they can go to CICs, e-Seva centers, other centers to complete their administrative work. These are the changes in public administration from as an academic study of an academic discipline to now we are coming governance and e-governance. I am going to give about the important questions to you. Number one, write an essay on the study of public administration as an academic discipline. Second, how to understand the public administration in the changing context of market model. Third, identify the differences between traditional public administration and the governance systems. Fourth, write an essay on e-governance. For further study, you can go through Avasthi and Maheshwari, Public Administration. 2. Mohit Bhattacharya, Public Administration.